going on, everybody? Once again, we are Tankers Fantasy Football, coming to you with the mock draft. Gonna do something a little different. We're gonna talk about a Dynasty startup here. So we're gonna take a look at some of these guys, see how they balance between these young bucks as well as some old traditional guys that you can really get some nice value on late if you're looking to win now.
Yeah, we're going to fire up a 12-team PPR Dynasty startup draft here in about a minute or so, just to give you a real nice feel here. I know we got some requests to do one of these, and we fulfill some most requests, baby.
All right, so 12-team, I'm taking at the 5 spot.
I'm going to go in the 8. You know, we're both going to kind of go a little bit in the middle here. Instead of we usually go like one in the beginning, one in the end. We're just kind of both go in the same range here at the 5 and the 8. But in a Dynasty startup, you know, the value in these first and second rounds is a little bit different, so it doesn't really necessarily make a difference of where you are per se in the first, besides like maybe the first few picks to get one of these, to get David Johnson or Ezekiel Elliott. Besides that, it's pretty much who you love out there in these first couple of rounds.
All right. Number 1 overall off the board, David Johnson there.
That's pretty chalk, especially with the old Ezekiel Elliott having some problems lately, you know.
Yeah, and Bell is always kind of a suspension waiting to happen, and he's obviously a little older than David Johnson. So
yeah, Ezekiel Elliott, you know, if these problems continue into his career, maybe that screws you over down. I mean, not only this season, but maybe in the long run, you know, maybe he starts getting crazy out there like the Josh Gordons and the Justin Blackmans of the world, and you don't ever see him again. I'm not saying that's a thing, but that's a little something to you would worry about in a Dynasty league, and you definitely would have to take David Johnson here, number 1.
All right, number 2, Odell Beckham Jr. I feel like he is probably my number 1 keeper or Dynasty League wide receiver. I mean, he's only going to be his 4th year. He's been absolute dominant, looking at least, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns every single year so far. I think Eli will be around for a while. Not to mention, I think Odell definitely has the talent when Eli is gone.
Oh, for sure. Then we got Ezekiel, just went there at 3rd. And then we got Bell. Le'Veon Bell just went there, so the top 3 backs are gone in the first 4 picks.
All right, so 5. I know he's been around a while, but I'm going to take Antonio Brown. I still feel like he has at least 5-6 years here, very high-end wide receiver. And anytime we were looking at PPR, you just can't pass up Antonio Brown.
The only guy I would probably consider over him might have been Mike Evans. I mean, I know Julio and AJ are in the same talk as the Antonio Brown as far as the age goes. But I just think, Mike Evans, I just think Antonio Brown just has that slight edge on a guy like Mike Evans for probably at least another 2 or 3 seasons. I think that's a solid pick.
All right, so Mike Evans off right after
There we go. Amari Cooper, who just skyrocketed up from his late 2nd to 7th overall here in this PPR Dynasty draft, and I mean, my goodness, I do like Amari Cooper, but I'm not necessarily all in on him, especially over the likes of some of these dudes he was taking over. I'm going to take Julio Jones. I'm going to get in the same arena as you and say that Julio Jones probably has another 4 or 5 years of sexy boy deluxe left in him, and I'm just going to have to scoop up some younger receivers in these later rounds to kind of bridge that gap for when Julio does decide to hang it up out there. And I mean, you can always trade these dudes. I mean, Julio be your sexy boy for a year or 2, then you maybe move him at decent market value and get a couple of guys in there and maybe a starter for now or something like that.
All right, AJ Green off right after you, and that's really about where he's going.
Yeah, and isn't that moving at all?
In regular PPR leagues anyway, not just Dynasty. We got a shocker here at number 10 overall. We have Sammy Watkins.
Fucked.
I mean, I'm just not a believer in Sammy Watkins. I know this is Dynasty and he's still very young. But I feel like if you're passing on some of these other guys, I'm just not feeling the value.
There's plenty of younger, talented receivers still available out there.
I mean, if you look at T.Y., you look at Michael Thomas.
I mean, my goodness. I mean, I would take both of those guys over Sammy Watkins. We're talking about just guys that are still available. I mean, my goodness, I'd even start getting into them younger running backs before I'd even think about touching a guy like Sammy Watkins here. There we got T.Y. just went here at the 11th pick. We got Dez and Devontae Freeman went here at the turn. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of For a guy like Dez who's been underperforming as of late, I don't know.
And I feel like Freeman, too, I know he's kind of looking at for his contract deal, but even with a younger Coleman, it does scare me a little bit in Dynasty to take a guy who is having a clear 50-50 split probably in the backfield. More likely to take a guy who really owns the backfield.
Yeah, I would have probably sewn up some Jordan Howard or the Bears or some Melvin Gordon there if I would have had my pick of the litter. All right, there Melvin Gordon just went. And then we got DeAndre Hopkins. Sammy, he's doubling down on these wide receivers that have just been shit in the bed of late with the Sammy Watkins and DeAndre Hopkins.
I feel like Hopkins can get it back, though. I don't know if we're talking wide receiver 1 Hopkins, but I feel like he will be a solid wide receiver.
Yeah, which I don't understand. If this guy was on Hopkins, why wouldn't he just take him over Sammy Watkins? Because, I mean, my goodness. That's not even a thing. Okay, we got Jordan Howard, Dub Bears gone out here. I'm up on the clock, and I can't really believe he's still available. And I think the only reason why he would be still available because you got to think the clock is ticking on Drew Brees' career. But other than that, I mean, Michael Thomas is a second-year player, and the arrow is pointing up to the moon. And I'm about to scoop him up with the 5th pick in the 2nd round,
which is actually later than regular PPR leagues. Which you think Dynasty, only 1 year under his belt, should be higher. I mean, Drew Brees, maybe 2, maybe 3 years left, but still, he can be a foundational piece for the next guy who comes in.
I do not understand how this has happened, but I am all about it. I am all in and in love. And we got LaShawn McCoy just went out the board. That's a little earlier than I've usually seen LaShawn McCoy going. He usually goes like mid-third in these Dynasty startup PPR leagues, but I mean, if you're looking to win now, I guess LaShawn McCoy is a very sexy play right there. I mean, he's going almost a full round later.
It's about a full round different than the regular.
About a full round difference there. Got our first quarterback off the board.
Andrew Luck here.
I just don't know. I think if you're going to go, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is he's like, what, 32, 33 years old? I mean, you got to think Aaron Rodgers has got another at least 5, 6 sexy boy deluxe seasons left in him. If you're going to take quarterback in the 2nd round, I mean, Andrew Luck's had injury problems for these last couple of seasons as it is. I mean, my goodness, if you're going to take a quarterback this early.
I'm not big on taking quarterbacks early. I feel like I'm even more not about it in these Dynasty startups.
We'll see. Like, these quarterbacks in these Dynasty startups, quarterbacks and tight ends, if you're talking about, like middle-of-the-road tight ends, maybe your Kyle Rudolphs who did very sexy for you last year. I mean, these guys are going late, and I'm talking even later than they're going in regular leagues. I mean, they're out there going in, like, the 9th, 10th round of these Dynasty drafts, and even guys like Jimmy Graham. I mean, my goodness, guys like Matt Ryan, I mean, they're usually going, like, what, early 5th round in these regular PPR mocks, and Matt Ryan is just falling off the 7th, 8th round. It's ridiculous. No respect for the Matt Ryan. It's not like Matt Ryan is an elderly gentleman out there.
I mean, even Tom Brady, I know he's older, but I mean, he's going like around the 7th round as well.
I mean, if you want to late on quarterback and you're just like, I want to, feel out quarterback every year, I mean, you can get your sexy boy deluxes in the 7th and 8th rounds. I'm talking about top 3, top 4.
All right. So after Luck, it was up to me here, and I'm taking Leonard Fournette. I'm taking the rookie Jacksonville Jaguars running back here. And I feel like, Antonio Brown, he's kind of an older guy, but I'm going to saddle up myself a rookie who I feel like has ceiling that's absolutely through the roof here. So I like that pick. And it's about where he's going in regular PPRs.
This isn't a reach whatsoever. I'm kind of in love with it, actually. We got Jay Ajayi at the pick after. I mean, that's probably slidden about, 7 or 8 picks down.
Yeah, he's normally about, the 13th to 14th overall.
In redraft, he is a younger player, but he does have that knee situation. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't been bothering him since he's been in the pros, but it is kind of like a dark cloud over him at all times.
It's like a ticking time bomb just waiting to happen. But
and he does have a little bit of that mystery. Like, he did Love You Sexy a few times last year, but you just don't know at any given point. You just feel like he's a Dolphin running back for some reason. We just have this thought in our mind, like at any point he could just give up and shut down on you out there, and that's why I think in Dynasty he slid down these 7 or 8 picks.
All right, after him, Todd Gurley. And I mean, you got to think last year in these Dynasty startups, at worst, this guy was going top 3.
Oh, yeah, he was probably going first, second overall all day, Todd Gurley. We got Todd, and we got Brandon Cooks. That's pretty about the same spot he's been going in these regular leagues. And, you know, he's pretty young.
He's been going like early third.
Like we said about Michael Thomas, you know, Tom Brady clock's kind of ticking, so you don't really know what the situation there after that. Who even knows? I mean, Belichick might even call it quits after Tom Brady calls it quits, so the Patriots might fall into complete disarray, don't even know what the hell's going on. So I understand why Brandon Cooks hasn't necessarily climbed up since he is still a very young player. Oh, Keenan Allen right after him, and I guess, oh my God.
He still is very young.
Oh my goodness.
But
no.
Health concerns are a serious concern.
He loves them hurt. Look at him. Rob Gronkowski right after the Keenan
Allen, Gronkowski.
Oh, he loves them dirty and hurt, baby. I just don't know. This guy's got the meat wagon. His team's the meat wagon, baby. You got Allen Robinson.
Tripling down on receivers. So he's got OBJ, Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, once again, I feel like he's going to be looking for a nice contract soon. There's discussions about long-term deals. I think he'll have a nice bounce-back year. And, I mean, with the Bortles situation, maybe for his stock, it might not be a bad thing if Bortles is not there.
Yeah,
we'll
I mean,
see.
Tripling down on wide receivers in these dynasty drafts isn't necessarily a bad thing, because if you're looking to plug and play year by year at these running backs, you can get these elderly gentlemen that are probably going to be still like top 12, top 15 guys, and you can go out there and scoop them up in these later rounds. Like Adrian Peterson, if you're into that, I mean, he's going like 9th, 10th round out there in a lot of these dynasty startups. I mean, my goodness, I mean, even like the guys like these, I mean, I hate on Doug Martin, but I mean, at least his value in these dynasty startups is where it should be, down there in the 10th, 11th, 12th round. You know what I'm saying? And if you're into that kind of thing, I mean, load them up.
All right, had a little run here. We had Demaryius Thomas go, and right before me, we have Corey Davis here. I mean, that is dynasty pick if I've ever seen one, but how are you going to pass up on a guy who I'm taking right now, Jordy Nelson? It's just gone too far. I mean, this guy is a late first-round pick, and I feel like if you're looking to win games, Jordy Nelson is going to score more points than Corey Davis for the minimum next 2 to 3 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, if Jordy Nelson's get you a title in this next 1 or 2 years, if he helps you get you that title, I mean, chalk it up as good for Jordy Nelson only being there for a little while. He helped you get to the dance. What do you want? I mean, you want to win. At the end of the day, you want to win these leagues. You want to win the money or whatever the hell the prize is out there. Maybe, you know, you want to win the shit gun. And you know, so you got to get out there. I mean, my goodness, this is just ridiculous. That shows the ridiculousness of some of these dudes that get all in on these super young players like Corey Davis over these sexy, proven guys like Jordy Nelson. I mean, Jordy Nelson in the 3rd round, he's going tail into the 1st in regular drafts. I mean, I know it's a dynasty, and he's probably only be sexy deluxe for a couple more years, but my goodness, he is going to be my top 3 wide receiver in the 3rd round.
If I've got Antonio Brown and Jordy Nelson right now, I mean, I'm looking to win right now, and I don't see how I couldn't with those 2 guys.
You just got to go. You just got to go.
You got to find the very fine line here. Yeah.
You just got to go a little later on these, a little younger on these wide receivers in the later rounds to kind of make up for it. But I mean, my goodness, Antonio Brown, Jordy Nelson as your 1st and 2nd wide receiver for this next 2 seasons is going to be absolutely sexy deluxe. And if you haven't gone all in on that, you got some Fournette out there, so you got some youth going too. I mean, you haven't gone all in with that strategy. Back-to-back Packer receivers, we got some Adams. We got Christian McCaffrey. His value hasn't really moved from dynasty to regular PPR.
Yeah,
maybe a couple ticks, but not much.
Too much.
He was going to the tail end of the 3rd. This is about middle right here. And then I am up and I am down. And I mean, Christian McCaffrey just went, but I'm down. We're talking, you know, I got to get me some more youth. I did just give me some Michael Thomas. I think Dalvin Cook, I know Latavius Murray might bring him down for this year with the goal line work, but until infinity and beyond, I think Dalvin Cook will be a very sexy RB1 for me right now.
Yeah, I love that play as well. I feel like his ceiling is absolutely through the roof. I think he could be the next LaShawn McCoy guy here. All right. Then we got Derrick Henry out the board.
See, I'd much rather have Dalvin Cook than Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Dalvin Cook, I mean, he's a rookie, so it's a dynasty pick. But I feel like Dalvin Cook gives you a better chance this year by far as well.
Yeah, the next 2 seasons. I mean, who knows? DeMarco Murray this year might be shadowing over him for a couple seasons. Who knows? I mean, Derrick Henry is not going to be an RB1 or even a sexy high RB2 as long as DeMarco Murray is out there getting 250 touches.
All right. Carlos Hyde, so Sammy Watkins guy is taking Carlos Hyde.
His shit face hammered. Gotta be.
There's reports that Carlos Hyde might be a surprise cut.
Yeah, this guy is not. This guy is not paying attention to the Roto world or watching any fantasy advice because he is just shitting the bed out there. This team, he must be shit-faced hammered, drunk at the sleep at the wheel. All right, we got Aaron Rodgers, that's pretty good value, late thirds from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm not a quarterback guy. I'm not hating on that. Alshon Jeffrey and Lamar Miller, I mean, that's some dicey action, too. I mean, I know Alshon has that high ceiling, but he's not necessarily a spring chicken either. I know he's not necessarily elderly out there, but Alshon had a very, very low floor last season with the 100-yard game and the 2 touchdowns. And I know Carson Wentz may be an upgrade, but I just don't know. That is not a proven thing, and Lamar Miller scares me even more.
All right. There we got the second tight end. We got Travis Kelce there. And, you know, like we've said before, I feel like he is the #1 tight end this year. He has to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Travis Kelce, I mean, his value's even slid a little bit down from these regular PPR max, probably like 4 or 5 picks. I mean, Travis Kelce does have the youth, and I think he is looking to be the #1 tight end. We might be talking about the resurgence of the Kansas City Tony Gonzalez getting that. Kansas City Chiefs somehow have gotten their sexy deluxe dynasty tight end again to go for another decade out there, and I just think Travis Kelce is that boy, and you should probably, I mean, this is great. I mean, that's great value.
All right, had a little run here. Got Jarvis Landry. I mean, that's not bad at all there.
Doug Baldwin, you know, I was probably thinking about Doug Baldwin here. That guy kind of stole him from me, but that's okay because I had a definite sexy backup plan with Terrell Pryor, and I mean, this is about where Terrell Pryor is going in regular drafts. But if he is still about he's like 28, 29 years old, and if Terrell Pryor can get that report going, I just think Terrell Pryor could be my sexy boy for another 3, 4, 5 years out there, and I just think that in that 4th round pick, I am down with that.
All right, let's see here. Next pick coming in here. DeMarco Murray's off the board. All right, then we had Mark Ingram go, which is that's a little too high for me to think about Mark Ingram
That's ridiculous. What is even happening with that?
All right. So I'm going to get a rookie running back, doubling down on some rookie running backs here. I'm going to get Joe Mixon. I feel like his ceiling could be the highest out of all these rookie running backs. I feel like Jeremy Hill, this might be his last year with Cincy if it's not a surprise cut. I think Gio will still have some play, but I don't know how long he's going to be there. But off-field concerns are a definite issue with Joe Mixon. But I feel like his talent at this round, which is about where he's going in regular leagues anyway, 4th round here. So
I mean, what the fuck is this guy doing drafting Mark Ingram over Joe Mixon? I mean, it's not like Mark Ingram is guaranteed to outperform Joe Mixon this year because I'm saying he's not. I'm saying Joe Mixon is almost guaranteed to outperform Mark Ingram this year. This guy is belligerent. He must just be looking at last year's stats and forgetting that Adrian Peterson is on the football team. I mean, my goodness, that's just gross. We got some Dante Moncrief, then we got another high. These rookies, some of these rookie wide receivers get skyrocketed up. I mean, some of these aren't even getting borderline, not even getting drafted in redrafts. And Mike Williams for the Los Angeles Chargers just got drafted in the 4th round.
Still whispers, is he or is he not going to have back surgery? I mean, that is enough to scare me away. I'm not really big on him anyway. But if I'm looking at maybe spending a 4th round pick on one of these guys that he might not even play, I just don't know how we can pass on some of these guys.
Not down with that whatsoever. We got Tyler Eifert go.
And then what is this?
And then Randall Cobb here at the end of the 4th. Dude's drafted.
I don't see where that value is.
Man, these dudes are fucking clown shoes.
But I mean, he had a very nice pick at the turn.
He did
with Tevin Coleman. But
at least he got it back together there with the Coleman pick. But
I really love Tevin Coleman. I feel like 5th round. I feel like that is about as good of a pick as you can make there. Really, I feel like he will be an elite fantasy running back one day here. It might just have to wait till Freeman's out the door.
That's compared to the guy who just went after him and Spencer Ware. We got Derek Carr going in the 5th round. I mean, that's pretty good. Very young, very sexy, high-paid quarterback. And I just think this guy could be this guy's franchise quarterback for a decade out there. And then we got Stephon Diggs go, and then now you are on the clock.
All right, I'm gonna take a guy. Rookie last year, taking Tyreek Hill, and this is my 3rd wide receiver. But like we were talking about earlier about some of these rookies, I don't even know if Tyreek Hill was getting drafted in some of these dynasty leagues last year. I know he was going undrafted in most regular PPR leagues. So that's just a good example of why you can get these elite starters now, even though they are a little older, because you can find guys like this that no one's even thinking about.
I mean, my goodness, I'm just amazed that Tyreek Hill is even available to you in the mid-5th. He's even sliding like a full round down from redraft.
Not to mention the drafted Pat Mahomes, who is a gunslinger, who is going to take over when Alex Smith is gone, which might only be another year or two.
And I guess he hasn't necessarily completely proven that he's not a gadget player, but he kind of has in my eyes. I mean, this is ridiculous value in the 5th round, especially in a dynasty format. I'm all in on it. Good job. We got Jordan Reed go. Then we had Martavis Bryant, which kind of saw. I was thinking about taking him.
But I was thinking about
taking him there. He just got sniped for me, so it kind of removed the thing from my mind. So I guess that's kind of a little bit relief. But I do have to get a running back here, and I know I can probably still get some younger dudes a little bit later, and a couple older dudes that maybe just be able to push me by for another year or two. But I do have the Dalvin Cook as a sexy boy dynasty running back already, so I'm just going to go and get a guy in the 5th round that I think can produce maybe even back-end RB1 numbers in the Crow.
And he's not even that old. What is it, only like his 4th year?
If he can keep it going, and and stop, and keep on the not posting ridiculous things on Twitter or Instagram or whatever the hell he's doing, and then we can keep it good, keep running footballs out there.
All right, Amir Abdullah off the board. All right, Kenneth Dixon just went.
What is happening? This guy is definitely, like I said, he's not even paying attention to anything.
No, he's going to be out for the season, looking like he having meniscus surgery. So, I mean, I know their other backs are Terrence West and Danny Woodhead, so I guess out of Dynasty, maybe Kenneth Dixon. But how are you going to draft Kenneth Dixon over some of these other guys still available?
Don't be this guy. This guy is clown shoes. He's got Watkins, Hopkins, Carlos Hyde, Landry, which is his best pick somehow, and then Kenneth Dixon, who isn't even going to look to play football. I mean, this guy hasn't even shown that he's necessarily is the guy anyway. And what the hell? Even if he was not out for the season, it was still a dog shit pick. But the fact that he is out for the season makes it just dog shit terrible. All right, and we're going on
Kelvin Benjamin. There's reports he looks a little closer to his weight, which is good to see. So,
some Mariota and some Corey Coleman going here at the turn. And C.J. Anderson, I'm just not in on that in any format. Not really about that whatsoever. Got Cam Newton go. And then I'm hoping to scoop me out. Man, I get sniped all the time with these Crabtree bits. This guy just took Crabtree on my ass. I was hoping to get about him, and now he's forced my hand. I know I gotta get a young running back. We have 2 flexes here, and I know I only got one filled up with Terrell Pryor, and I don't necessarily want to rely on this guy to be my week 1 starter. But in like dynasty formats, that's not necessarily a thing, because I can go out there in the 10th, 11th, 12th round and get a guy who's very capable of toting the load for me in these first few weeks just to get a feel. So I'm going to go out and get a guy in Kareem Hunt, who I think could turn into a very sexy boy deluxe for me down the road. So I do have 2 rookie running backs. I'm going in young with the running backs here.
All right, and like we said, Tom Brady just went here the 6th round. So you can get these quarterbacks very nice value if you're looking for a strategy to just win now here. All right, Eddie Lacy off the board. All right, I'm up here, and I'm going to pick Jamison Crowder, young guy. I think, only entering his 3rd season here?
Yeah.
And I feel like he's legitimately going to catch 90 to 100 balls in this offense.
You got 2 back-to-back steals in these Tyreek Hill and the Jamison Crowder. If I wouldn't have gone so wide receiver heavy earlier, I might have been sniping them from you.
And like Jamison Crowder, I don't know what the situation is going to be if Cousins does leave. But at least this year, I mean, seriously, we're talking about this guy being like my second flex play, and I can get 100 balls maybe out of my second flex.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous. Your flex plays are Tyreek Hill and Jamison Crowder. That is sexy boy deluxe. I mean, if Joe Mixon shows up to play football this year, your team should be
and like we said,
downright unstoppable.
Like we said, we don't even need Mixon to be an instant impact guy because you can get these guys for just 1-year loans late who are on the tail end of their careers and can look to produce now.
Russell Wilson, I mean, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, you got guys
I'm kind of surprised that Jameis Winston is not
exactly.
Gone yet.
Jameis Winston's still on the board. Matt Ryan is still on the board, and you're going out there and you're picking Russell Wilson. I mean, I'm just not on that whatsoever. And even Drew Brees. I know Drew Brees isn't in the twilight of his career, but we're talking about top 3 sexy boy deluxe for at least a couple more seasons, and Russell Wilson may never be sexy boy deluxe ever. So, I mean, we're talking about that. Then they got Kevin White. Oh my God! I'm sorry, Russell Wilson guy. The shit is over on you. Your name is off the list. This guy is on the shit list. This is terrible. Absolutely garbage. Another garbage pick on Latavius Murray. What is happening? Alright. I thought I'd be a little more competitive in these Dynasty leagues. These guys are kind of dick bombs. Alright, I got some Devontae Parker.
I feel like that's a really good pick. Last pick in the 6th round there, Devontae Parker. I feel like there's tremendous upside.
Great Dynasty value there.
Alright, then he doubled down with a little Giovanni Bernard, apparently.
These dudes go savory and they just can't handle themselves.
All right, Fat Rob.
Fat Rob, Thomas Rawls here off the board. Golden Tate. Now you are up to make a civilized pick.
So we're talking Joe Mixon doesn't have to be my man this year, and I'm gonna take a guy who I'm hoping can be, and I'm taking Marshawn Lynch here, who I'm probably gonna have my starting lineup week 1 over Mixon, but I know there's next to no dynasty value whatsoever, but if he can produce anything, win me a title this year, I'm all in on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know they're talking about, they came out today, maybe, that he might get not as many carries as we think he might. They might only give him to Latavius Murray workload, and Latavius Murray only had like 190, 195 carries last season.
Easy double.
Well, Latavius Murray's missed 2 or 3 games, too. Latavius Murray's missed some games. So if Marshawn Lynch can get into that 230, 240 carry range, I mean, I don't think there's any way he's not a back-end RB1 this season for the Raiders.
And I honestly do not see how he doesn't get double-digit touchdowns. If Latavius Murray can,
12 touchdowns, Latavius Murray, he can easily duplicate that. And in this mid-7th round, I know this is basically a one-season rental, but it is very sexy one-season rental, especially in the wait and see what the 2 rookie running backs you have in front of him here. We got Josh Doxson go, which is some. I
like Josh Doxson.
I know this is some dynasty, but that's some hype love. That's some real love.
I feel like you could have waited on him, but I do really like Josh Doxson.
We got Willie Snead. And
not this year though.
I know this guy is a little young, but I know he's still kind of a 1-year rental, and I'm about to get on him just to cover my ass on those 3 running backs that I picked before him. I'm going to get up on some late 7th round Mike Gillislee right now, and I just feel good about that.
That might not even end up being a 1-year rental. He still is young, so he could turn out to be the guy that New England just absolutely falls in love with now that LeGarrette Blount's out.
Just a little questioning still surrounding him, so it kind of pushes him down a little bit in these dynasty formats, but I am down as a minimum 1-year band-aid in my running back situation. I am all in just to be able to wait and see, like I said, the Kareem Hunt to not be in my second flex for a couple weeks. Now I can write in some Mike Gillislee and feel a lot better about that.
All right, Marvin Jones out the board. Devontae Booker, who I'm not. I mean, I don't know. He did hit that rookie wall hard last year. I guess if you're going to own any Denver back, he's the one to own in Dynasty.
Jordan Matthews. Then we got another tight end, Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry goes a lot higher in these Dynasty formats, probably about 4 or 5 rounds higher than he was going in regular PPR, and, you know, rightfully so, I guess. We got Jeremy Hill, and that's just stupid. We got Deion Lewis, and that's also shit fucking dick bummery. Sterling Shepard, which is a great pick here in Dynasty.
Feel like that's good.
Very good, very solid pick. We got Paul Perkins pulling up, and I'm thinking about just kind of sewing up a tight end, you know, kind of feeling the tight ends fall pretty far in these leagues. I'm thinking I can get a top 3 guy here in the mid to early 8th round. Sew up some Greg Olson. I mean, I know it might be only
definite 1-year rental, but
no,
still.
the year or 2 rental, but I mean, I'm all in on that top production. And I mean, in these types of formats, you can probably get down in there and get yourself a younger tight end here later and try to sew it up for you for the long haul.
All right, then O.J. Howard right afterwards there. So talking an old Dusty Trusty, and then you got a rookie tight end. All right, C.J. Prosise in the 8th round. I feel like that's a nice value pick there.
Alright,
so I'm up here
on the clock and look at the value.
I mean, once again, I feel like I'm just going to get a very nice value pick. I'm picking Matt Ryan. I mean, very high-end quarterback. This guy absolutely blew it up for you last year. I feel like at worst he's going to be like a top 5 quarterback this year. So, once again, even if he is like a 1 to 2 year loan, it's still very high end. Like, I feel like a lot of these
I don't know. I mean, Matt Ryan is going to be around for more than 1 or 2 years.
Right, but I'm saying even if you only sign him to, you know, you get your different contracts, you get your 3-year deals, your 2-year deals, and your 1-year deals. Even if you sign them, you know, for a shorter one, I feel like it's still very high end here.
Ty Montgomery just went off the board. We got Zach Ertz, then 6, very high-end dynasty pick here. I am in love with this. Jameis Winston just went off the board. I am down with that. Support that fully. We got Kirk Cousins here. And we got some Juju Smith-Schuster just, skyrocketing.
I mean, going undrafted pretty much. Like
people
17th, 18th round.
Martavis Bryant be damned. Juju Schuster, baby, up in that ass. Then we got Rashard Matthews and then Tyler Lockett. Got some Perrine go here. And you are on that clock.
All right. I feel like it's just another value pick here in Emmanuel Sanders. This is definitely a luxury pick. This is my 5th wide receiver on my own team, Emmanuel Sanders, who I truly believe is going to put a wide receiver 2
But
production.
how late these tight ends are going, I mean, you can afford a couple luxury picks on your bench before you go out there and get your starting tight end. And that is just absolute deluxe value in the mid-5th round of Emmanuel Sanders. A guy who's looking to get you 75, mid-9th round. A guy looking to get you 75 to 80 balls with 1,000 to 1,100 yards and probably 67 touchdowns. I mean, my goodness. Theo Reddick off the board. John Ross.
I do like John Ross.
Like me some John Ross. Alright, then we got, I'm gonna go elderly again, but this value is extreme here in the 9th round. I'm just gonna get some Drew Brees and I'm gonna shove it in people's asses these first couple seasons with some Drew Brees and some Greg Olson, baby, and you're gonna get sick of it, baby. And I know you'll be like, they don't be here in a couple years for you, yeah, but when
we're gonna be beating you.
Beat your ass for a couple years until they go.
All right, John Brown off the board. I feel like he's kind of capped off there until maybe Carson Palmer is gone there.
John Brown, Eric Ebron, some Duke Johnson going here. We got a couple of young guys going here at the turn, and Bashard Perryman and Dante Foreman going. I mean, I'm down with that. I mean, Lamar Miller be damned. I know the guy did draft Lamar Miller, so this is a decent handcuff for him. But I mean, my God, I mean, Lamar Miller be damned if he wasn't the Lamar Miller owner. I would still be down with that selection here in the early 10th. We got some Tyrell Williams just went off the board. Kamara.
I really like that.
I like that.
Kamara. I feel like Dynasty, I'm absolutely in love with this New Orleans back here.
All right, I did go young early, and I'm going to pump it full of lead with these elderly gentlemen looking to win me money. I don't even give a damn. I did go early with Michael Thomas, Dalvin Cook. I got me some Kareem Hunt early, and I am going to bust your ass late with some Greg Olsen, Drew Brees, and now I'm going to get me some middle of the 10th round Julian Edelman.
10th round Julian
middle
Edelman.
Of the 10th round. Julian Edelman is going to give it to you, baby. He's going to love you sexy out there. I'm down. That's ridiculous value.
Couple of receivers here. We had Will Fuller, who I really like, and Laquan Treadwell. I'm not a believer whatsoever in that.
No,
I know it's only his second year.
It's still like a Kevin White, borderline still Kevin White situation. At least he got him like 5 or 6 rounds later than the lunacy of the Kevin White.
He catch one ball all year.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he wasn't even suiting up on game days. What the hell's going on out there?
All right, we talked about waiting on the tight ends. 10th round here. I'm taking my first tight end.
Ridiculous.
I'm taking Jimmy Graham.
Makes me mad I took Greg Olsen here in the 8th round. I thought that was value. This is gross value.
This is a guy who's top 5, 6 every single regular draft going as a tight end. And for this guy to drop to double-digit rounds here, I mean, I just don't see why not.
Oh, definite. Sexy boy value, late 10th round, Jimmy Graham. I mean, how can you deny? It makes me mad that I took Greg Olsen 2 rounds before it. And we're got some Macklin just went. Well, that's decent value right there, and some Macklin. Eric Decker. We got some Adrian Peterson. That's like a 1-year rental, but a decent one. And Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon guy says Dalvin Cook sucks. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. We got Dak Prescott going, and we got some old man River and some Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, that's value. If you're talking about, it's decent. I mean, I'm not in on it. I'd rather get the Edelman in the 10th like I just did, but Fitzgerald is decent value here in the early 11th. Then we got some Chris Goodwin. Godwin. Chris Godwin going out there rolling deep in the thunder of doom. All right, we got here. We got Quincy Enunwa. Quincy Enunwa just went. And then you are on the clock.
Yeah, we also had David Njoku, or no.
No, he's still on the board. That's how I was looking at. He was looking at my draft order here. I'm trying to steal my guys.
I'm looking at the tight end here, the tight end line. I'm looking at Njoku. I'm looking at Rudolph.
Stay off of my boy Njoku.
And I'm going to go Evan Ingram here.
Oh, you okay. All right, you let me have
I feel like Evan Ingram's ceiling is a little higher than Njoku, even though...
Yeah, it is. At least definitely, I'd say. I mean, he's playing with Eli Manning, so you got to say the immediate future is at least a brighter one. I mean, Njoku, they did, I mean,
Let's go with Gary Barnes.
Gary Barnes, a pack of shit. Pack of shit, bud. Pack of shit, bud. You're out of here. And Njoku is in the house. I hope he slides to me because he's my boy. I love him. Adam Thielen just went. We got some Rex Burkhead. He is here, and I am doing it. I am going to take me some Njoku because I know I got the Greg Olsen earlier, so I got to go a little bit younger with some super young upside and take me some Njoku right now.
All right. Doug Martin off the board.
Martin.
I mean, which isn't bad. I mean, 11th round pick. I know it's decent. He was only 1,300 yards 2 seasons ago, so... There's still some decent value
like I said, he's going 10th, 11th, 12th round earlier. He did just go late 11th round. So, I mean, if you are a Doug Martin believer in Dynasty formats, he is going at fire sale prices. And we got Kenny Britt.
Curtis Samuel, who I really like.
That's solid.
I mean, he's maybe a gadget player. He might be like a Tyreek Hill guy, but even with that said,
late 11th round, that's dart throwing deluxe at these young guys in these dynasty leagues, and I'm down with that.
Josh Gordon is off the board.
Josh Gordon is off the board. Okay. Malcolm Mitchell's gone. I mean, this guy's weird. Josh Gordon will be back, baby. The South will rise again, and Josh Gordon will play football, and I just don't know.
I feel like that's a wasted pick right there. All right, I feel like a potential target machine here than this next year in Pierre Garçon. I mean, for 12th round, that's not awful. All right, couple QBs here in Stafford and Rivers. And then who are you looking at?
I am looking up, and I'm going to go Bears. I'm going to get me up on some Cameron Meredith Bears. And I think that's down as a very young player. And if Mike Glennon or fucking shit duck boy can get his shit together out there and get a report with Cameron Meredith, he could be a very sexy. And what are we even talking here?
We're talking 11th round, which is...
Oh, we're talking 12th round
here.
12th round Cameron Meredith. I mean, my goodness.
What's he getting drafted in redraft?
8th.
So, getting lower in Dynasty than he is
I think that's ridiculous. I mean, he's a very young player. I mean, I know the Bears are shitty, but the Bears quarterbacks are also young. And I mean, if they can get a report going, he's on my bench. You know, it's Dynasty. Dynasty's all about wait and see. I think Cameron Meredith is definitely a good stat in that fucking situation.
All right, defense is off. Zay Jones. I absolutely love that pick in the 12th round, Zay Jones. I feel like this is a guy who could be the #1 receiver in a couple years in Buffalo and could make that 10th overall Sammy Watkins pick look even more worse than it even does.
Goodness.
All right, I am up. And right now I've got 3 running backs, and it includes 2 rookies and then a guy coming out of retirement. So I'm going to get Bilal Powell here. I feel like 12th round there is some decent
the mileage is low. He could have 2 or 3 more seasons of value if the Jets do get their shit together and decide to hand him the rock.
I feel like for only my 4th running back in the
I think this year
I feel like I had to. Kind of force my hand into a running back.
I think this year he'll be low end RB2 value probably looking at the end of the season. He'll be looking at minimum low end RB2 value, and getting him here in the late 12th is good value. Like I said, look at these tight ends. Kyle Rudolph.
Number 2 PPR tight end last year.
Just went in the late 12th in Dynasty. Ridiculous. If you want to wait and plug and play your tight ends as you go and just kind of feel it out, Dynasty is definitely a very good format for that. I mean, because Kyle Rudolph's going late 12th. That's ridiculous. TJ Yeldon, another high upside tight end in Martellus Bennett. And I know Martellus Bennett is playing with Aaron Rodgers, but I'm not really on it, and I'll tell you why.
Aaron Rodgers never has really loved his tight ends whatsoever.
And I looked into it, and when Gronk went down that week 10 last year, and you're thinking, you know... And
he really didn't produce.
No, Martellus Bennett, that game that Gronk went down, he got 7 catches for over 100 yards, and you're like, yes. You know, I handcuffed Gronk. I got the Martellus Bennett. This is going to save my season. And Carlos Bennett did not do that. And I know Gronk came back for that week 12, played a couple of snaps, got re-injured early. We're talking about Martellus Bennett being the #1 tight end for the Patriots from weeks 11 through 16 for your fantasy season. And Martellus Bennett during that time went over double-digit PPR points once and averaged 7 PPR points in that 6-game spread. Oh my God, that's bottom end shitty deluxe. You might as well have started Charles Clay, because this guy's been averaging 7 PPR points for you in the 6 weeks of the fantasy season that Gronk was out at the end. And I mean, I know he was kind of up and down at the beginning, but toward the end he wasn't up and down, he was down.
All right, we got this guy's at the turn, Carlos Henderson. They're talking, this is the 4th running back of Denver, who might somehow find his way into getting some snaps, as well as Kenny Stills here at the turn. Couple defenses go. Brandon Marshall, 13th round. I feel like that is a tremendous value.
I mean, if you like Brandon Marshall, that's great value. I mean, it really is. I mean, if I'm not really into the Brandon Marshall this season, if you are, I mean, Brandon Marshall in the early 13th, I mean, my goodness. I mean, even if he sucks, at least you don't have to feel bad about it. But definitely.
All right. Let's do another luxury pick here. What the heck?
Ridiculous.
We're talking Deshaun Jackson in the 13th round. That's who I just took.
That is ridiculous luxury pick. And we got some Ben Roethlisberger going.
Ben Roethlisberger, 13th round. So the guy who took Andrew Luck
is thinking about calling it in here in another season or so.
The guy who took Andrew Luck in the 2nd round, getting Roethlisberger.
I mean, all these older guys and Drew Brees are talking about playing forever when Ben Roethlisberger's like, no, maybe another year or two. So, you know, the end is definitely on the horizon for a guy that's talking about, maybe another year or two. But that is still a good value pick right there.
All right, Marquise Lee's off, so who are you looking here? I do like Marquise Lee.
I don't know. I'm going to go young wide receiver. The wide receiver pool has gone void. I was staring at Deshaun Jackson. You did steal him from me. And now I'm staring into the void right now. And I'm going to take something that rhymes with void. And I'm going to go Tyler Boyd.
They drafted him. I think it's the 2nd round pick. So we'll see. All right, Delaney Walker, 13th round. And this is the guy's first tight end here. So we're talking he just let the ship sail and he gets a guy like Delaney Walker in the 13th round.
See, that's just ridiculous. Absolute great value.
All right, we just had a huge run of picks we don't even need to mention. Kickers, defenses, Mike Wallace.
All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to just take Eli Manning here, kind of like we said, another luxury quarterback. I know I've gotten 2 older quarterbacks, but I think, quarterback's kind of a position where these guys can just play on, especially with all these rules protecting quarterbacks now. These guys can play into their late 30s like it just isn't a thing. So I'm just going to scoop up some value with Eli Manning.
All right. Couple worthless picks here. I'm going to get LeGarrette Blount here. I'm not necessarily in love with LeGarrette Blount, but once again, I've got 2 rookies. And who knows? LeGarrette Blount, maybe for some reason, he's looking better than Joe Mixon. And it's just value, really.
Yeah, just value right there.
It's 14th round. I didn't have to really give up anything. And if he shows anything to what he did last year, which I highly doubt will happen, that 14th round could be a tremendous
the pick right after you was Frank Gore, so at least you got the higher upside of the old guys that are plugging away out there. You definitely got the better end of that stick. We got some garbage throwaway picks. And we got some Katie Cannon going out there.
I don't even know.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't. Alright, I know that's sad, but I'm sorry. Ryan Matthews, Andy Dalton's going. Then what you got? You're gonna enjoy going down there. Going so young, go a little young to end this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Usually these dynasty leagues do go like 20 to 25 rounds
or
here.
even like 30 to 40.
It gets a little ridiculous out there, 25, 30 rounds of these dynasty. So we're going about half margin here with these fantasy football calculators in this 15 round. I mean, we would be, after these, we'd be start digging deep into the muck and just pulling out these random rookies' names that somehow, some way, we hope to become something in the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, that's all really after the 15th round is anyway.
All right, so I'm going to get a little talking point here. We got Wendell Smallwood. There's reports, that maybe he's going to be involved in the offense a little bit more here in Philadelphia. And if you look at Philadelphia's running back situation, it's very murky, so who knows? Smallwood could have some upside, down the road.
Yeah, it's crazy all over the place. They're talking about Wendell Smallwood's going to be cut, and they're talking about Wendell Smallwood has a increased role in this offense. So I'm saying at least you got the LeGarrette Blount and the Wendell Smallwood, so you got the Philly now, and I think you got the Philly later. So you got some Philly bands right there. Solid action. We got some Jamal Charles just went. This is ridiculous.
This might be the best value pick of the draft.
I know
so
he's
far.
probably a rental for a couple seasons, but we're talking PPR, and we're talking maybe guys like Dalvin Cook, Isaiah Crowell, Kareem Hunt and Mike Gillislee aren't getting it necessarily done for me. I think Danny Woodhead at least will be for the foreseeable future with Kenneth Dixon on the shelf. I mean, 15th round Danny Woodhead is absolute ridiculous.
Oh, I think he'll be right in that discussion of back end running back 1 to high end RB2.
I mean, if that's the case, I'm gonna be stealing the show out there with some 15th round Danny Woodhead, Cameron Brate, Forte, Austin Hooper, and then Blake Bortles to finish off this 12-team Dynasty startup PPR.
I feel like Hooper could be a sleeper as well. We'll talk about the 11th pick in the 15th round.
Yeah, that's
Austin
decent.
Hooper.
Another solid, decent dart play here in this league.
And he's got Kelsey, so he's got the now Kelsey for the next, however long he wants to
Kelsey
sign
forever.
him for. And then
I mean, we're talking about Dynasty. We got Kelsey. We're worrying about in Dynasty our tight end after Kelsey. I mean, that's going too fucking far. I mean, my goodness, just worry about just living the now a little bit, people. You got to win some money now. I mean, my goodness, if you're worried about a guy like Travis Kelsey and when he's gonna call it quits, you just gotta stop. Worry about that shit later.
So there it is. 12-team Dynasty. Let us know what you think.
We diced it up for them.
First time we did a live.
Yeah, we didn't do any last year. We haven't done yet any. This is the first. No. This is the first Dynasty startup we've done. I think it went fairly well out there. Tell us what you think in the comments. Give us a like if you're down. Don't forget to subscribe below. We shooting out these videos like 3 or 4 videos a week, people. We're pumping out the jams. Taste the jams.
Thank you very much for watching. We will see you very soon here.